want to like hear more, they'll hear what you're saying, but we don't need to worry about.
So to all of those that are going to watch the video, hello, welcome to our meeting. But we'll be looking the other way today. All right, so we have, I think 9, right? 9. So thank you and welcome to our meeting. We are so excited. We are at 151 members on Facebook. So just keep thinking about who can you share on the social media. Are you guys, have you gotten any information online about us as far as like social media or anything like that? So after the meeting today, just make sure that we get your information, and then Amy will add you to the list.
I'll send you a link to Facebook on how to, and how to get monthly reminders.
Yeah, and then you can go on the Facebook page and like the page, and then you can start sharing the page, because we're always trying to grow our social media presence. And then if you have any content you want to post on the page, like any sort of meetings or upcoming events or anything like that, you could just send it over and we'll put it up on the page and then you can share it. Right? Yeah, because I mean,
and you can post things on the page, like if you have an event you want to share to the page, you can.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, we're very confident that social media is like a really great platform. I mean, people have grown their businesses off of Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. So it's definitely a platform that we could really be utilizing to get the word out there. Okay, so just a reminder of our mission and vision for our OACS networking group. Our mission is to proactively serve and educate each other in pursuit of synergistic solutions for seniors, and I'll add for their adult children, to create a unified senior resource team to support each other and the seniors we serve is our vision, and our values are integrity, synergy, service, and collaboration. So we have Miss Stephanie today. She's here from Stratford Place at Beyer, and we were just talking about they have a new landmark now too. There's like a new tequila bar right next to where they're at, so you can go have a few drinks and then go visit your loved ones.
Exactly.
Or the other way around. Right? Rescue them and say, let's go do a few shots.
Yes, exactly. So what I was saying is, depending on who my audience is, who I'm speaking with, either Beyer High School is our landmark or my mom's is our landmark. Right. How to easily find us.
Yes. So tell us more about your facility.
So the Stratford, we've been around since 2005, and we are fully licensed for assisted living. And we also offer memory care as well. What's great about our community is that we can have residents, even if they're independent, which just means they don't have any care services. And so residents can really enjoy all the amenities and the services that our community has to offer, from dining to housekeeping, to outings and activities. And then they can age in place with us because we offer that assisted living care as well. And so it's, it's really nice because they don't have to worry about moving a second time when they need that help eventually. We have options for studio and 1-bedroom apartments in our assisted living and independent living side. And then in memory care, I would describe them more like suites. They're smaller living spaces. And we have options for companion, semi-private, and private as well. And so the prices will vary, the base rates will vary depending on the apartment or the suite size, and then care is in addition to that. And we do a really good job of taking care of our residents through end of life, and we work with some wonderful hospice organizations as well to help care for our residents that maybe need that higher level of care. We are doing in-person tours right now, and I always recommend to families, getting ahead of the curve if they think that their loved one is going to be in assisted living, because you want to always be proactive versus reactive. That's probably the best way to describe it, because it's really tough when I get calls from those family members. My mom just fell and now she's in skilled nursing and she's being discharged in 2 days and I don't know what to do. And of course we can accommodate those residents as well. We can do rapid response assessments to get residents moved in within 24, 48 hours if we need to. But of course, it's always a better option if it can be at the choice of the resident and not in a time, of desperation, where we can actually take the time to show family members around, show the resident around, allow them to choose their apartment, and really get them a good feel and a little bit acclimated to the building before they make that move. Does anyone have any questions for me?
When you say companion residency, what does that mean?
So
versus-
a companion suite, would there be 2 residents in one studio suite?
Okay, so a roommate versus someone that you bring with you, like a spouse. or
And
something like
and a
that.
companion suite can be great option for spouses as well. But it could also be 2 residents that didn't previously know each other occupying that same space. And the reason that we have that is because it could be a more affordable option for
Mhm.
folks too.
And that's like one studio area with,
Yeah,
so more like a dorm setup
yeah,
versus a private
Mhm.
bedroom or something.
yes,
Okay.
and because the suites are gonna be in memory care are gonna be just living spaces as
Right.
opposed to full apartments.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we don't have companion options on the assisted living side. But of course spouses can, occupy one apartment, of course. Yes, it's on an individual basis, we do offer some limited pet services, but residents have to be able to take some accountability for pet care. And as long as the pet is not presenting a hazard or a hygiene issue to the resident, then that's fine. And dogs under 40 pounds and then cats. And we've had birds, fish. Yeah.
So no laughs, no 100-pound rule.
No, sadly not. Sadly not. But all pets of all shapes and sizes can come visit. Yeah. No, but they can visit if they're above 40 pounds, but they just can't live with us if they're over 40 pounds. Yeah. Yeah. We have family members that bring in, their family dogs all the time. Yeah, the residents really enjoy it. And we love to do outings too. We go to the casino once a month, which always seems to be very popular. We have happy hours, which is surprising to a lot of folks that we have happy hours. But of course, with alcohol, it's like anything else. If the resident is not allowed by the doctor to consume alcohol, we won't serve it to them. But it seems to be a really big hit in the community, especially our live music happy hours on Fridays. And we always encourage folks to come tour when there is a resident activity going on, so they can really get a better feel for the lifestyle that we have to offer and the general vibe of the community. And so a lot of the times we do really awesome tours around our Friday happy hour at 3:30. And anyone here is welcome to come tour just to take a look around as they're working with seniors, in our local areas. To be a referral source for our community. We always really appreciate that.
Are there kind of like family gathering areas there, like where
Yeah.
families can come and?
Yep, we have a private dining room and it can be reservable for special occasions and family events. And then we have a ton of, community common areas that families can enjoy when they come visit too. We have an activity room designated, for our bingo. We have resident council meetings, and we have meetings with directors too, that take place in those areas. And we have a large living room space. And so residents and their families can, of course, take advantage of those spaces as well. One of the things I love most about our community is that we put a very strong emphasis on resident feedback. Once a month, our activities director and our culinary service director will meet 2 separate meetings, but they'll meet with our residents to be able to get a better understanding of places I'd like to go, activities I'd like to see on the calendar, meals I'd like to see served. If there's something that they didn't like, they weren't really fond of, we can make sure we're not repeating that activity or repeating that meal. And so we really take that, we take accountability there, and we take our resident feedback into high account when planning our menus and activities, which I think is very, very important.
Stephanie, a while back, I was invited to come have a meal just before you came
Yeah.
on. I was really impressed with the menu because they have several options for seniors.
Nice.
Yeah, so if they don't like the main entree, they have other selections, like
Yeah.
not just one other. Like some places, if you don't want the liver and onions, you can have fish.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going today.
Yeah.
So it was really
Yeah.
nice that it's like you're at a restaurant because you have several choices,
Yeah.
not just one.
Yeah, it
Or-
is restaurant style.
Yes,
dining.
it's very nice. I'm
Thank
very
you.
impressed.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, we have an always available alternative menu for breakfast and then for lunch and dinner. And it's nice too, and it's, as with anything, it takes some time for our staff to get to know our residents. And as we get to know them, if we know that they're not going to particularly like something that's being served that day, we can always provide suggestions. Or if we know that they like to sit down and have their glass of orange juice with their cup of coffee in the morning, we can be prepared for their arrival. And our staff has been with us a very long time. We've had staff in our Our culinary service director has been there for 14 years.
Nice.
We've had staff, line staff in our wait staff that have been there for 15 plus years. Our director of care has been here for 15 years as our executive director. And so we have a great longevity of staff too, which just proves their loyalty to our community and our residents and how much they enjoy, working with us and making a difference in our residents' lives. And the reason I'm saying that is because, I think that in our industry, there is, a lot of turnover. I've worked in communities that have, high rates of turnover. And if our staff is there for longer, it allows them to get to know those residents on those deeper levels, which I think is so important.
Yeah.
And that's something I do like to talk about and highlight on our tours as well.
When it comes to you having a hospice patient, I know a couple places have like a private hospice room. Do you guys have any of that? Like when a patient's about to pass or anything, like what support, or how does it work to have family there? to give them
So,
that privacy?
well, most of the in assisted living, the residents' apartments are all going to be private, and so that privacy is already built in. And then when it comes to generations, if there is a companion in that room, we work with not just with the family of the hospice resident, but with the family of the other resident to, to be respectful and to really make it comfortable for both residents and both families. Mhm. Yeah. And we can provide hospice care in any apartments in the building.
What would you say is the demographic of like the age group there, like ranging from to,
Mid-80s.
okay,
Mid-80s. I mean, we have residents that are over 100. And we
okay,
have some residents that are in their late 70s. But I would say like
Okay.
mid to late 80s is kind of our
the
average.
average.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm very honest, if there's a younger resident and if I don't, or for example, I don't think they're going to be a good fit for our community, I have no problem being transparent, because at the end of the day, I don't want to move in a resident who's going to be unhappy. And so if people ask me those questions, I have no problem being honest and saying, if you're 65, which is our age cutoff, I don't know if we're going to be the right
Yeah.
community for you. If you need that high level of care, of course we can
Right.
provide that. But
Right.
since there's a big difference between 65
Yeah.
85,
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm happy to suggest other places where they might be more.
yeah, maybe a little more active lifestyle at that age,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I take no offense. It's a bummer, but I take no offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people would you say are moving in every month?
So we've had the past couple months, we've had between 3 and 5 move-ins. It ebbs and flows. 5 move-ins, is a comfortable month
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
Right now we have 65 residents in the community. And so we're not overly large, but I think that that's part of our charm.
Mhm.
We're not very overwhelming. It's already a big decision for a resident to decide to move into a community style living.
Yeah.
And so I think that if we were much larger, it could be, add that extra level of being, overwhelming.
Right.
And so I like that we're a little bit of a tighter
Yeah.
group.
It's kind of like, do I want to go to a small church or a big church?
Exactly, exactly. And so I think that we're that Goldilocks size. We're not too small, we're
Mhm.
not too big, we're just right.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate that
Yeah.
about Stratford. We have a guardian angel program too, to really help residents get acclimated into the community within their first week. We'll assign them a director, either myself or our culinary service director or business office director. We will assign them specifically to the resident to really help them get acclimated their first week, introduce them to residents, help them find a comfortable seat in the dining room, make sure that they're getting to activities that we have to offer, which I think is of course really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting connected, right?
Yes, exactly. We have our resident ambassadors who will wear their resident ambassador name tag very proudly, and they'll make sure to pay extra special attention to our new residents to make sure that they're getting along with their new neighbors.
Very nice. All right. Any more questions from anybody? No. Awesome. Okay, what I thought we would do today, since we're running a little early, is just go around the room and introduce who we are and kind of what we do. We know what Stephanie does.
Yeah.
I
think I covered
Theresa,
it.
why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll
okay.
just kind of go around real quick.
All right, my name is Theresa Shepard. I'm a registered dental assistant. I have about a 40-year history with dentistry. Most recently, in the past 3 or 4 years, I've been working with teledentistry, and I just got approved in November for my nonprofit. So we are going into facilities and providing not just with seniors, but children, veterans, anyone that needs no access or means is who we want to help. And so we can provide oral care services on site to those people through the nonprofit. So definitely looking for partnerships, sponsorships, joint events, however we can get ourselves out in the community and grow so we can be able to start seeing our patients.
Wonderful, thank you.
So are you looking for like veterans events where there will be lots of veterans, or like for kids, like lower income type things?
Yeah, we used to do I had my teledentistry company in 2019 and early 20, and
Right.
we had seen two different Head Start events through Stanislaus County School District hired us to do their Head Start events. We would love to do more of that. That's always a lot of fun.
Right.
There's, being in the Central Valley, we have a huge migrant farm worker population here, and a lot of those kids don't get services. It's not just kids, it's anybody without access or means. My what's in my heart has always been seniors and veterans. We have over 120 homeless veterans in Stanislaus County, and that was at the end of 2020. I don't know what it is now.
Right.
At least that, probably, if not more. So I just want to reach out. And
What about homeless?
Homeless as well. Anybody that's willing to sponsor, like let's say someone wanted to sponsor an event, and we would sit down and have a conversation with them. It's like, okay, I've got 40 kids here that need help. What can you do for me? Then we'd set up a date, we'd set up a time, a venue, we'd figure out what we need to do, and then I can give you numbers on what it would cost to sponsor that.
Gotcha.
Obviously, children are less costly to sponsor than adults,
Gotcha.
but the big expense really for us is just bringing it all in and set up. I mean, you have to understand, we're like moving a hospital in every time we
Right.
so one patient in a facility, and then you load it in the car and you drive to another facility and you see one patient. That's really hard.
Yeah.
We did that for a couple
Yeah,
of years.
you'd want to
It's
kind of,
just,
it's like a little clinic.
you
right?
almost need,
Yeah.
right. And so my company, we are diagnostic, x-rays, oral cancer screenings, intraoral photos, videos, perio charting, preventive, so cleanings, fluoride treatments, SDF. We've seen some patients in hospice care. They still deserve their quality of life. And so that's really important to us as well. We've seen that. SDF fluoride is a good way to arrest a cavity before it becomes an abscess, when you know that this is a bad thing going on here, but there's no way they're going to get seen. So there's things that we can do palliatively and proactively to keep infection to a minimum and things like that. And that's really what it's all about in that sense. And we provide non-surgical perio. So I basically work with hygienists for my company. I do collaborate with a doctor in the Bay Area that has a brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art 2-operatory mobile unit. And if there is an event scheduled, and she's also, besides being a dentist, she's also Air Force Reserve. So she's always interested in the veterans programs. She will drive over and park. And so if somebody needs a filling, needs an extraction, needs just simple one-time day type treatment, she's willing to do that. But it's expensive to move that van out of the parking lot. So again, there's actually a QR code on the back here that's active now, that if somebody wants to donate, just in general. But if you want to set up events or sponsor an event or sponsor it, that's definitely what we're looking for.
Okay.
Also, not just that, but as terms of fundraising, because I went from fee for service, now nonprofit. It's like my patient care model hasn't changed, but my whole financial mindset has changed. So, I'm going to have to be doing fundraisers. I'm going to have to be doing things like that. And so I need sponsorship for that as well. If I'm doing a fundraiser for to focus on a children's event, let's say, you know, I'm gonna need someone to help maybe help kick in for that venue or provide food or costumes or, you know, whatever the case may be. So always looking for help. Always have appreciated what you guys are doing for seniors. And I think I've been with you guys probably a couple of years now.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that was from the beginning.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting for me. This is
Yeah.
really where my heart is.
That's
And
awesome. Yeah.
eventually I want to be able to get more equipment to have larger and, you know, eventually have a van, because right now, every time I have to go somewhere, you know, the trunk of my car is my,
Yeah.
and that's getting a little tight in there. So I
Yeah.
would love to have, you know, a van and be able to
Yeah.
just keep everything loaded and just go from place to place.
Yes.
It'd be really
We'll
nice.
talk
So,
some more.
Yeah.
My wheels are turning.
Yeah. Get those wheels turning, because I love to see patients and help them, particularly seniors and, you know, in stage. Doesn't mean they don't deserve that dignity and to be infection free and pain free. And so,
I mean, your mouth is so important to your overall general health, right? It's
Yeah.
just crucial.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. There's all kinds of things that we don't realize, comorbidities, you know, so.
Awesome. Thank you, Theresa. I'm Joyce Fritz. I'm with PMZ Real Estate, and I'm also the team leader of our Fritz and Associates team at PMZ Real Estate. And we have Amy, who's our operations coordinator. She's with us full time. And we also have a full-time transaction coordinator. And then we have 4 team buyer specialist agents. And I'm also a seniors real estate specialist certified agent. And that's kind of, well, that actually isn't why the networking group was established. I really had a passion and some, you know, life experiences and testimonies of working with seniors prior to getting my certification. I really decided that I just wanted to get that so that I could kind of communicate to seniors and their adult children that I had, you know, the skill sets and the knowledge. But you have to have the heart for it and the passion for it. You don't really need the certification. That just kind of puts their mind at ease that, you know, I'm certified. And so, you know, we're just passionate as well about trying to bring information to seniors in our communities. That's really kind of the heart of this group. And we really want to keep digging in and finding ways to invite the general public to our meetings so they can be aware of the services that are available to them. So that's what we are and what we're hoping to accomplish.
And I mean, like she said, and my hope and my passion is I love seeing making dreams become reality. That's really what has been my driving force. I started working with Joyce because I saw her as someone who had big dreams and also the desire to put them into action. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm here. And so I'm kind of like the back end of like making sure all the logistics are in place, making sure people know what's going on, you know, organizing things. So if you do have something that you want to get presented, just let me know. I'm the one who coordinates our schedule throughout the year. And I don't know if you know someone who should be a part of our group and they're not yet, give me their contact information. I would love to make it happen. And that fuels my passion, seeing that people do have these great big dreams of helping other people. And I think it's beautiful. I think that that's really, you know, what this world is about. It's like having a desire to help other people and having people, you know, wind under your wings to make it happen. And so that's why we love this group. We're really grateful to be part of it.
It's great from ground zero.
Right.
Brenda Macias, I'm VP for marketing for Noble Hospice.
I'm Alejandra. I'm a nurse with Hospice in San Joaquin. I've been a nurse for 5+ years. I love working with seniors. I've always worked with geriatric, with dementia, Alzheimer's. We've been around for 42 years. We have a hospice house. We're nonprofit as well. So we do have a lot of fundraisers and stuff. What would qualify a patient for a hospice house? We're more of a 6-bed unit. It's a small little house we have. Our main office is in Stockton. Right behind our main office, that's where we have our hospice house. We have another office in Lodi and one in Manteca.
So how far do you guys come to Modesto too?
Yes.
Slowly but surely, we're branching out
Mhm.
up more north,
Yeah.
down south. So I'm Erica. I'm with Hospice of San Joaquin as well. I'm a nurse, fairly new nurse, under 2 years. So hospice is really new to me, but I really enjoyed working with hospice with geriatric patients in the community. really just trying to get out there and just meet people and learn, just be a sponge and just soak everything up. So if you guys have any little tidbits, any tips or anything, I am an open book. I'm free to just listen. But yeah, we both got hired around the same time, and we both enjoy our jobs. Working for Hospice of San Joaquin has taught me a lot. I've learned a lot, and it's kind of opened a passion that I never really realized, which is, yeah, it makes me feel kind of emotional.
It's a special heart
Hospice
that,
is
that
very
wants to
emotional.
be.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I don't think people realize like what a special thing it is, like when we enter and when we exit this life. And I think it's more like happy and enjoyable, right? When people have a baby and they see that, but I don't think a lot of people understand what a special gift it is to be when they're passing.
Yeah. Especially when they have that opportunity to say goodbye.
Yes.
And say what they want to say. Because a lot of people don't get that opportunity.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and then back of the room.
I'm Lori with Apex Care. I have been lucky enough to be working with the elderly for 35 years. It's all I've ever done, and it's all I want to do. And I've worked in assisted living for 20 years. In the last 15 years, I've been in home care. And I'm with Apex Care, and we have caregivers that go in the home. And they've been around for 30 years. And I cover all of San Joaquin County and Stanislaus County. And we have what's called the Apex Care Advantage, and it really benefits people on hospice that needs around the clock care. You probably have seen when an agency comes in and every 8 hours they have a new caregiver. So every day they see 3 caregivers. It's a lot, especially if you have, say, for example, the husband's on hospice, the wife is there. All these people coming in and out of it's a lot. So our Apex Care Advantage, what that does is after 8 hours, we keep the same caregiver up to 12. So in 24 hours, they only get 2. It cuts down the revolving door, and we don't charge the family the overtime. Normally after 8 hours, you charge family the overtime. We don't do that because we feel like it gives them a little bit of peace of mind knowing they're going to have the same person from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., then 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And it just brings them a little bit more comfort. And or what happens is after 8 hours, how do you know if the next person's coming? So there's a lot of that. So we like to cut out a lot of that worry for our clients who need around the clock care. So we call our Apex Care Advantage. They get 2 caregivers in a 24-hour period. They're awake. Sometimes caregivers, when they come, they require 8 hours sleep. That's why we do one every 12 hours, so they're both awake around the clock. So, and I really appreciate that about Apex Care. Not a lot of people do that, but Apex Care does that, and that's kind of our advantage. And we love being with hospice clients, because they need that support. They need that around the clock support.
Wonderful.
So,
do you have shorter periods of time?
we have a 3-hour minimum.
A 3-hour minimum.
Yes.
So if somebody needed help like every other day for 3 hours, that could be all negotiated.
We have one lady that needs us once a month for 3 hours.
Okay.
Each time we're there, it's a minimum of 3 hours. And it's up to them when that is.
Right. And the services are mostly in-home services,
Personal
bathing and
care,
personal care?
bathing, yes. And we do laundry, housekeeping, cooking, transportation.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do a lot of things.
Yeah, I need to get some more cards.
Yeah. Okay.
I do have a question for you. I know that I get a lot of families that need that 24-hour
Yes.
care when they're hospice. They're like, okay, well, I don't have anybody watching my mom at home. Okay, is your caretakers licensed to administer medications
We're
or?
non-medical.
Okay.
We can administer medications as long as they're in a cartridge. We can't take them from the bottle. They have to be preset.
Preset.
So yes, we can do it, but it has to be specific.
And if it comes to a point where the patient's unable to administer meds on their own, are they allowed to do hand over hand or?
Yes. Okay. And when it comes to like liquid medication, it has to be pre-poured. Yeah.
Okay.
We can't dose it and we can't take it from the bottle.
Thank you.
So if the family had it all laid out
Yes.
when they left.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then Missy and Beth.
I'm Christina, I'm Miss Noble Hospice. We just help with placement, we work with home care, with Lori, just to try to help seniors in their time of need, families, give them education, we do palliative, so we try to get them when they're in the in-between before they get to hospice, let them know what their options are and, what their families are gonna be expecting if they have that family support. If they don't, well, let's find you some support and things that are gonna benefit you to give you a little bit of dignity towards the end of your life. Wonderful.
All right, well, thank you everybody for coming today, and our next meeting will be Thursday, March 24th. And we are going to be learning from the Healthy Aging Association next time. So thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And yeah, just a reminder, if you guys know anyone or would like to have time to share more about your organization, let us know.
How many vendors